Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into this video, make sure you click that button. But today's video is part 2 of our shortlist. Basically, we are creating our own Leeds Lately scouting shortlist for a backup right back for Jayden Bogle. I said this in the other video about this. I've been through the squad. I've identified for me the place that we need backup the most is at right back with Jayden Bogle. For every other position, we've got multiple players who can play there. Even centre back at the moment, you've got Strauch, Rodon probably starting. Then you've got Verba who can come in for Strauch or play left back, and then you've got what's his face, DeBio as well, who I think can come in and deputise for Rodon. I have made a video though, and a series of videos about potential centre backs that we could sign, and I do think that we probably do need another backup, because if Charlie Cresswell wasn't ready, what's to say that DeBio is ready? But having said all that, let's get into today's video, which is talking about another potential right back. Now, this one is from a team called Wien Wiesbaden in the second Bundesliga. He's right-footed, he's 27 years old, he's from the Netherlands, and last season he scored 3 goals and got 5 assists, so very, very decent return for a fullback. Now, we nearly ran onto the wrong statistics then, that would have been awkward. Thijmen Goppel is his name, and he's worth around 900,000 euros according to Transfermarkt, so with a bit of an English club coming in for him tax, you probably expected to pay probably 1.5 million for him, so that's euros probably. So it wouldn't be a bad price at all, especially for a backup player. When you've bought your first choice for 5 million, buy your backup for 1.5, it's not really the end of the world. But what interests me is his goals, his attacking threat, and his ability to receive the ball in the final third to get assists. So let's first look at his statistics in terms of attacking then. So non-penalty goals, 0.12, puts him in the 91st percentile. So basically, he scored a lot of goals, even though it's only 3, compared to fullbacks. That's still a really high percentage. Shots total is interesting, 1.27 per 90, so he's in the top 7% in terms of how many shots people are taking from fullback positions in the leagues that it's been compared to. So he's basically a very, very attacking fullback with 0.21 assists per 90, puts him in the 91st percentile. Shot creating actions is one that I always put a bit more stock in, because assists and things like that, you can't ever get a full idea of how many chances somebody is creating, because that just relies on whether the goal scorer actually scores a goal. But with Thijmen Goppel, his shot creating actions are 2.83 per 90, which puts him in the 83rd percentile. So if you don't know, shot creating actions are the pass that leads to a shot, or the pass before that, basically. So it basically says, are you within the last 2 moves before somebody takes a shot? How involved in the attacking play are you? And he's very involved with 2.83, putting him in the 83rd percentile. He's very involved in those attacking areas. If we're going on with the positives, we talk about progressive carries. 3.61 per 90 puts him in the 96th percentile. So when he gets the chance, he likes to bomb forward with the ball. Successful take-ons as well, like these often go hand in hand, but 1.07 per 90 puts him in the 82nd percentile. So he's really up there in terms of carrying the ball forward and taking people on and going down that line to try and put the ball in the box. A little bit like statistics you might see from a winger like Somerville or Jorginho, going past people and carrying the ball forward, but he does that from fullback, which is really interesting. Touches in the attacking penalty area, 1.72 per 90, puts him in the 80th percentile. So he's in the top 20% of fullbacks taking touches in the opposition box. So he's involved in the attacking play. Those are probably moments where he tries to get the ball on an overlap and cut the ball back from inside the box. Probably things that Daniel Farke would expect to see his fullback be doing. And those are things that Theman Goppel can definitely do. As well, this is one that I keep saying, and I'm going to keep saying it, progressive passes received. Now, for a fullback like Theman Goppel, if his progressive passes received are really, really high, you're in the final third, you're receiving the ball from a midfielder, from another winger, somebody basically passing the ball forward to you in the final third. 5.95 per 90 puts him in the 79th percentile. So he's up there for that. He's receiving the ball in high areas able then to get the ball back across the box. Now, if we look at some of the statistics that are a little bit more negative, you can kind of see the balance and why perhaps these players aren't valued as highly as you might think, given those statistics that are really up there. So passes attempted, 41.1, puts him in the 7th percentile. That's really low, but we've said it on the other video, we've said it on many videos before, can be to do with the system that you're playing in, with the team that you're playing in. If you are playing in a team like Leeds, you're going to have the ball a lot more and you're going to be passing it back, receiving it, going on the overlap, receiving the ball again, playing a ball into the box. He hasn't attempted that many passes. That can certainly change. He's not incapable of making those passes. Pass completion rate, 70%. We've seen this is a theme with these fullbacks. Their pass completion rate isn't massively high, but I think that's because a lot of the time they're getting the ball in the midfield third or the final third and they're trying to play the ball forward or into the box, and a lot of the time those are the type of passes that do get cut out. So play risky balls and you are more likely to have your pass completion rate go down, but that's not the end of the world if you're in the right areas trying to do that sort of thing. Progressive passes as well. I think it's more the fact that these players, they don't pass the ball forward a lot because they pass the ball to a midfielder, let's say, who's near them, and then they make an overlapping run, then they go and pick up a position in midfield, or they overlap and then they receive the ball. They don't actually pass the ball forward that much because they're the ones who want to be receiving the ball on the overlap. And then when we look at tackles, interception, blocks, clearances, and aerials won, tackles 1.89 puts him in the 44th percentile, so about average, really. But interceptions, blocks, clearances, and aerials won are 0.57 interceptions per 90, 0.9 blocks per 90, 1.23 clearances per 90, and 0.29 aerials won per 90. That puts him in the for tackles, the 44th percentile, so average. For interceptions, the 6th percentile. For blocks, the 24th percentile. For clearances, the 4th percentile. And aerials won the 3rd percentile. To me, all that says is he's a very, very attacking fullback. He wants to go forward. He wants to get into that final third. I do believe, though, that these type of fullbacks are not fundamentally flawed, but they're going to have issues, which is why they're available for such a cheap price. He last transferred in 21-22, so he's been there a few years now, and I think Leeds could get him for a really reasonable price and be able to put him on the bench at least. When we talked about the last player, we talked about his age. Now, Thijmen Goppel is 27.5 years old. So yeah, he may not be fully happy to sit on the bench, but if there's a chance of going back up, if there's a chance to go in back up for Leeds, but up for him the first time to the Premier League, there's so much more of an incentive there to do so. And I think that certainly we would like to have backup. I'm not 100% sure that Verba is going to stay. If he is going to stay, that means that he can be a backup for left back, and that Sam Byram can go and be a backup for right back, but I'm not 100% that he's going to stay. So I think investing in a small amount of money realistically for Leeds, especially now that we've kind of gotten around the profit and sustainability rules, I think would be a decent investment for someone like Theman Goppel, because I think he just offers you a lot going forward, even if he doesn't have to be the best defensive fullback in the world. So that's another suggestion then. So let me know what you think down in the comments about Thijmen Goppel. Let me know whether you prefer him to the previous one, which was, I think, Cernicola we did. Yes, it was. Leonardo Cernicola was the other one that we did, an Italian fullback. So go back and watch that video. Compare it to this one if you like. See who you would like and put that down in the comments below. And there will be another one we're going to compare him to as well. Thanks for watching Leeds Lately, though, and I'll see you in the next one.